Okay, hi, I'm Izzy Galanti, and I am the CXO of Mosaic Instructional Planning, and I'll be your guide on the side for this Do Now tab. For the Do Now, that's just terminology that is pretty universal, but you may know the Do Now as a hook, a motivation, a phenomena for some STEAM courses, maybe, and also an engage. There's many ways to say it, but the way we define it, regardless of terminology, is the entry into the content conversation for every student. Now, in order to do that, we subscribe to the use of multiple entry points, and you have a fantastic description of that here in the coaching panel and an amazing video for you to use, as well as some resources to use to create some multiple entry point do nows. And this video, I'm going to just show you how the Mosaic system supports that structure. All right, so you open here to a regular dialog box. This is just a rich text box that you can type into in any way, shape, or form that you would like. I want to also show you the idea that we can insert a link, insert an image, a table, horizontal line if that for some reason is necessary, put in a formula. And we'll do a video about that in another time, but insert a formula or bold print, very typical rich text box settings. But beyond the rich text, we also have the concept of a multiple entry point builder. Now, what I want you to see is that it is a progressive building block. You start with a level 1 question and move to a level 2. And if you notice here, and when I go to MEP2, it says, oops, not available. Now, I say level 1, 2, and 3, because that maybe you could have guessed 1, 2, 3. And those are connected to the level of rigor. So let's go back to that tab and look at the first 3 levels of rigor. We have recall and reproduction. We have skills and concept and strategic thinking. You can certainly extend the idea, no pun intended, of multiple entry out a little further, but it's very difficult in practical terms because extended thinking really relates to over a period of time. This is a way to engage students from the start of your lesson and to hook them with motivation because they're going to enter at their own level of choice. So the basic premise behind this, and I won't go too far into it because the video here does the job, is that they get a choice of these 3 levels. When you're building the MEP, you're looking to add a key term or several, but in general, maybe just 1 or 2. And these are being tracked on the back end of the program to kind of see the level of thinking that you're entering kids at and progressing kids towards. So this would be like first question, which is going to be that recall, reproduction question. When I save this, now I'm able to add a multiple entry point 2, and then you see that there are new words that come up. If I have a word that that I think is new to this whole concept and I want to use, I can add that vocabulary or that leveled keyword. And once I select enter, it is now a part of the system here. So now I have a new word for question number 2. And when I save that, look what happens. Multiple entry point level 3 is available. You can see by just the way the keywords are here, there's an indication of completion. So many times this is an inference or an analysis of information. Maybe it's error analysis. Maybe it's a way for a history teacher to look at visual text like a political cartoon and maybe justify, show evidence, prove a conjecture, etc. So here's where we're going to import visual text. Of course, you can use imagery on anything in the program, but in general, you'll see during the training for MEPs that it's encouraged to use visual text for at least one of them with some purpose. So if you either can drop an image here or we can just kind of select and choose one of the images. Real quickly, if we kind of look at defining rigor image, you'll see that every image brought into a text box comes in centered. You can realign them one of three options: left, right, or center. We can remove, we can change size, but the easiest way to change size is to kind of just drag a corner, and then you can type all around that image. So that's it for the functionality of the multiple entry point Do Now box. If you have any other questions or any concerns or comments, please drop us a line at info@mosaic-ip.com just by selecting this tab in the coaching panel. Until we see each other again, or hear each other again in this case, happy planning.